art and could support spirit. It's one story, and second, it's based on Shakespeare. We make now collage which research this nature of people, like dictatorship, these icons. So it's also an example. Artist alone and what he able to do or not able to do. This is around next Saturday. Next Sunday.
Astăzi e Ticina.
Ticina last weekend in July and first weekend of and first weekend.
Yeah, actually, it was really good that there was this 20 minutes of delay. Because usually it is like at the end the Roshi is coming from sunsets, and sunsets is like individual meetings, and there is this end of the session, and you never know when will he come, and you have to sit this half-hour long round, and he always makes it longer. So at some moment, everyone is in hell. Like, it's supposed to be half an hour, and it's 20 minutes more. So if you just sit and you'll be like prepared for 20 minutes of sitting, and then it's getting 45 minutes of sitting. And you cannot move. And he's entering always when people are just on the limit of when first people are starting to move and so starting to get up, then he is entering always. 20 years, always the same scale, and today was the same. So thank you.
So he's also a director. Yeah. So maybe I'll introduce Andrew is here with us. He is from Dark Theater. I'm introducing you to our people who are watching us, and we have now a session of questions and answers to kind of somehow summarize this event. Maybe you can, as a first question, tell us a couple of words about this place we are in, because this place gave us a lot of good energy. I had no idea what has been going on here, but I felt it. So what was it?
Yeah, maybe I need to move.
No, you're right position. I will reallocate the camera.
So we are in Kyiv now, in the capital of Ukraine, maybe in the epicenter of the world nowadays. It has feeling like it is. This ground and this place has power.
Yeah.
And we exactly in our house, which part of the 9th-floor building where people just live in flats, but on the 0th floor we have small space for theater, which called Dark Theater, and we on the stage. Interesting fact that down in the basement there are general electricity generator which support all building. So it's not only metaphor, like the stage has energy, but very concrete things. You are under the energy. Yes, and it's legendary place. This theater was the first independent theater in Ukraine. It was founded in 1994, and a lot of things happen here which influence on whole theater industry in Ukraine and festival industry. And one of the great example is Dacha Bracha, very famous Ukrainian, world famous Ukrainian band which created here and touring all over the world. I mean real all over the world, like USA, Canada, Latin America, Asia, all Europe, etc. Dark Daughters, it's another also famous project that created here. Festival Gogol Fest, the biggest multidisciplinary festival in Ukraine, and this festival was awarded top 5, the most actual festival in Europe in 2021 for festival in Mariupol for exactly this period. And artistic leader Vlad Troitsky is the person who, let's say, philosopher and director and producer who create this cultural magnet. I came to this house approximately 12 years ago, I think, just because I wanted to try to do something in the theater, and it was a real adventure and continued adventure.
Are you all professionals? How does it look like you?
Yes, this is professional theater, but we don't use standard approaches. So really, absolutely different people could appeared here, and a lot of artists in different way were or still connected with the space. So it's more like laboratory, more like lullaby, more like very intimate space for theater.
Is a theater a popular place during the war?
It's a difficult question because we have this whole period split it also in several phases, and it was period when everything were closed and theater lose their function and became a volunteer center or hostage or shelters. We did the same, so we just stopped our repertoire and try to solve and survive. But then slowly we opened the door for different refugees who start telling their stories from the stage, like Kherson people, because Kherson were occupied during previous year, and only part of the Kherson were become free. So it was period when Kherson exactly was totally occupied. So, we support a theatrical festival in Kherson in this way, like as a memory, and also as we also did events dedicated to Mariupol and invited Mariupol refugees and developed with them different works. And then appeared our works, which more reflection on current situation, or artist asked itself what to do. Is art still possible or helpful in the situation when bombs fall down on the theater? So how to identify itself in it. So and also we did some family things, because we understand that people don't have real space where to meet together with children. So, but production very simple. On a stage design, it's like now we have this light spots, which theatrical light from 380 power. So it's not standard 220, it's 380 dimmers. But when you have blackout, you could use maximum LED lamps or LED or telephone light. So all artistic vision was around this, like darkness and little light spots, some candles maybe, some very simple tools which return us on a feeling level to a prehistorical time when theater was in the caves, when one person looked at another, and it's the circumstances where theater appeared and tell the story.
Yeah, you told us that there were many peoples here who were telling many stories.
Yeah.
And I'm sure these walls have heard many stories.
Yeah.
And what is the story that one story, if you had to choose, that you think that the world should know about it? Do you have anything on top of your head?
Sometimes better to show than to tell, and we could show you would like, because we did a special cartoon animation documentary which now presented all over the world in different festivals, and this cartoon dedicated to Mariupol. Mariupol, because in 2021 me personally 4 months live in Mariupol. Mariupol was the big cultural capital of Ukraine. It's first time in our story of independence period. And Gogol Fest was it's our main festival, was held in Mariupol 3 times from 2008 to 2021, and our team were responsible also for the cultural strategy of the city until 2030. And 24th February last year, I was on train to Mariupol because it was a moment where we planned to open a cultural house like this in Mariupol for different international collaboration focused on youth. So it was my last time when I saw city from the window of the train. We were not allowed to come inside, take people, and leave the house. And after we did a cartoon during the year, we collect real artifacts, like real photos which people did in staying in shelters, what diaries which children did, and make a documentary cartoon which rebuilt a very concrete street from drama theater. This famous photo, which is drama theater with word children. I think everyone most saw it, right? Which were bombed totally. So mothers, children, a huge amount of victims, and Russian planes put bombs on it. And this cartoon, it's dedicated to these people and to all people who become refugees, especially to the children, because one of the main situation is that a huge amount of children deported to Russia. Family were destroyed, and you know that Putin officially from Gaga, it's one of the
Persecutions.
Persecution that's confirmed, like from the world. Like yes, it's happened. Everyone know that everything happened, but this is official part. And we use the story of from the media of 4 years young girl Alice, who was split from her mother, and this cartoon about it. So it's something that maybe better to see and feel. It's more about feeling, because material, also sound, music, it's about it. We could show it.
Yeah, maybe
we can watch it today.
Yeah, we can. Yeah,
I could bring laptop and show.
Yeah, and you can also send me the link if it's public.
It's not public because
okay.
So we could, for example, I could show it now, but due to participation in different festivals, you have concrete rules how it could be. So it's not spread. It's it's like for cinema. It's for cinema, but duration 7 minutes, 30 seconds. It's also on a poetry stus, Vasil Stus, very important and symbol person, poet for Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't know if it's better to do it later because we kind of have streaming right now.
Yeah.
And I also wanted to ask you a question. I don't know if it was your decision or someone else, but why did you agree to have us here? What was the thinking behind? Why did you think it's a good idea for Zen session to happen in the theater?
I could tell the story. We have a great partner, Kana Theater, and a representative from Kana Theater, Yannick, he linked us with you. Yeah. And step by step, we prepare the story, your visit, and let's say one of the reasons is we believe in what you do. We believe in your road, because for us as artists, theater is also the road. So we use this type of words. it's also in our manifest, in our philosophy of the theater, in our symbol of turtles of the theater. Равлик, snail, yeah? Our symbol of the theater is a snail which slowly go forward to the mountain of Fuji. It's like the income of the space.
Actually, it's a meme. I think it's a meme. It's a meme thing. It's a global thing.
Yeah, it's global, of course, but I mean, it's something that you could find in this area, this symbol story, and it's very relevant to what we do. Against circumstances, we always try to do big things with lack of resources, but also with open hearts, open mind, and with very concrete values. So that's why we know our road, and we could identify people who have their own road, and it's honorable. That's why I think our roads crosses in a really very difficult and very destiny time. Never know what will be tomorrow, but we have our present. And we also use this terminology that theater is a present continuous tense. Here and now. That's why it's a lot of similar things, I suppose.
I have taken some photos from the manifest from the book of Dark Theater. And when I was reading this, it was 7 Days of Idiots.
Yes.
It was completely like kind of Zen way, and I think that it might be inspired by Zen because there was a lot of emptiness, a lot of this interconnectedness, a lot of this what Peter Brooks thought that what is happening in theater, it's not happening in the mind and in the pulse and in the acting of actor. It is not nor happening in the audience, but it is happening in this in between, in this connection.
Absolutely.
So I think that Vlad is the first Vlad who started the theater.
Yes.
He is still alive.
Yes, he did. And he, let's say, he was born in Buryatia. So let's say he has this feeling of
Buddhism.
He not identify itself. I don't know exactly, but let's say it's. I never heard that he in the public eye could say, but of course in his performances and his way of thinking, for sure it present, because one of the first lessons that each artist receive here is silence. It's like if you to act with another, to act with the space, to meet with audience, you need to have silence inside. Otherwise, you can't build dialogue, you can't create space together, etc. So this routine noise and silence is something that we also work systematically here in a different way, because technology could be different, but value the same. This is what I mean.
That's why maybe we were feeling him here like home.
Yeah.
And I was really amazed because like Kana Theater is also like a kind of home for me. I spent then a lot of blood and sweat helping and doing many projects with them for many years. And I was really in shock, like coming here is exactly the same. Like the scene is a little bit maybe smaller, but it's like in the darkness, it's like I've never been moved from Szczecin. And we really had the idea that if there will be a really, really not comfortable situation and we would quit because we would fear too much to come, Janek was proposing to do this live stream and the session in Kana Theater, and in that way, in that empty blackness, even connect through that theater. But and he was till the end trying to make me go somewhere else, even to go with him to Imre Torman workshops where he just is, and we contacted through the WhatsApp to do maybe that session at Imre Torman's space, because he was just scared and he was trying to take care of me. But from my point of view, it wouldn't be authentic, because like this last verses poem, in the middle of bombs falling, 7 days in Vimalakirti's room together, in purified mind, enemies becoming closest allies. So it wouldn't be authentic if we would be sitting and telling people being here that you can use those tools of breathing, of Zen, of mindfulness to help to release the tensions, to release the stress. If we will be sitting there, it would be like just, like most people are doing. Usually we are easy to giving an advice, but not being in this discomfortable situation. We must get into that situation to really feel what's going on.
It's great, and that's why.
Thank you so much for having us here.
We were sitting, not only 6 of us, with us is sitting a big Sangha in Japan. They started the session, so they yesterday started 7-day session, and Chisan Daichi Roshi was all the time connected, and she told that the session in over 300-year-old monastery now is supporting this session and this place also. So we connected with them in that way, and also many people were just connected through Facebook and through YouTube. But what is really important, it was also like experiment, because I didn't know Valta, I didn't know Vasily, and they came just like meteors. I'm astonished about their knowledge and about their characters and what they shared with us and with people. And the material that is left on the YouTube, I think will be very interesting material for the future to explore and to even keep it as kind of experimental research. And I have only one question more. Do you heard ever about 7-day long performance?
I think yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So next time we must do 2 weeks.
This duration is very specific story. Sometimes it could be months performance, but it's very seldom story, and there are always some details, because it's performance with interruption, or it's like non-stop story. But mostly, usually, it's you have starting and finish.
This was 7-day continuous.
Yeah,
with 6 actors.
For sure. It's like 6 solos, solo performance, but at the same time.
Can I while I was sitting, I was thinking about, I had contact with this theater through Gogol Festival in 2019 and 2020, just before the Corona, in Dnipro and Vinnytsia. And I was like planning to take part, because I like this
activity.
I made the installations, like sculptural installations with light, and it kind of went good. And we were planning to make something bigger in Mariupol, and then Corona struck, and everything. It's like the day before this pandemic was announced. I was on the train, like you, with the war, like in this transition. And when I come to leave from the meeting with Vlad Troitsky and Maxim Demsky, we were talking and trying to we were on the state of like solving technical questions, like we had to make this flying sculpture and send it with the wind to the occupied areas. I don't know. I think I can say this now because I don't think anytime soon we can make this. We wanted to make this like Zeppelin, dirigible.
Zeppelin, yeah.
Zeppelin, yeah, in the form of something that could remind the people living on the occupied areas at that time that they're still home, we're still waiting on this side, so they would see, and then as we planned, and we were solving technical questions like what material, what to pump it with, how to do this in the maximum safest. Of course, it was not really safe. It was a provocation, and I was really like scared of, but also excited. It was like this big, dangerous adventure, and the scale of thinking of Vlad. I was really inspired that I get to meet him in person and talk to him. I really like his projects like Daha Bracha. My friends are just like, they're actually fans of this group. And I personally really like more avant-garde, like the Dark Daughters. They're my favorite. But I listen it in earphones, not to be overwhelming from people who I work with. And and this Gogol Festival is great, and that's what I get to first come here, and it was a completely different like world at that time, and I thought that I'm never going to work with this because after the pandemic, these like big festivals are not a thing, and now the war, and it's like, you know, like stamped with. Yes, okay, it will like the opportunity is closed for the shut down for the long period, and it was like this like hands down feeling. And when I said yes to this retreat, this session, before I knew that this was Dark Theater, and when I heard, I would think I would go if in just go, like, just sit here for a week with no retreat. Just this, of course, it would be a solo retreat. And I was so like inspired, like, yes, this is a chance to close this unfinished thing. And when I came here, it was even a lot more. It's really a lot more than I could expect from this. I thought this would be some kind of, you know, Japanese style of people who just like, you know, they fancy of all these Asian stuff. They just like the smell, the, you know, the touch of it. And I thought that you will be all grumpy and, you know, the stone face, and we won't talk. And this is like because there's no windows. I was going for the submarine, you know, the submarine. Like we sit 7 days, no hello, no goodbye, just sit and go home. That's what I would expect, and I was like totally okay with that. And it came that you were actually like loving, peaceful, and all the things that it's not like you just say that or sing to feel good, and we're like rainbow. Yeah, it's not this like on the surface. And what I'm going to what I wanted to say, and I was thinking about this is theater, this is the stage, but we're acting like in a way that not as actors, but doing the thing, the practice. But this is like more true than if I would go like to the shop and do this problem solving line. This is real, and and on the place where everybody acts as if, but this is a different way of practice. I don't mean to say that acting is it's a great form of art. I would like to explore it more. And yeah, we're acting on the place where people acting. We're not acting. We're just sitting and not acting, acting, not doing. So it's really.
According to that, I'm not an expert in theater, but I got this sense of feeling that all the religious traditions use the Greek theater and the way it was dealing with social traumas on the stage, showing the things that are happening inside the society and giving the relief with catharsis. And then with Christianity, we took the Greek theater into our rituals, and with that realness of being here without playing anything but be as real as it's possible, we like close the circle of the history of theater. So again, the most precious ritual that I know from the different religions that I know came back on a stage
in some way
as truth, not as acting. So, but maybe for someone who is an analytic in theory, it can be something interesting to explore.
Anyway, theater is one of the functions of theater is mass, like ritual, but it is like social ritual, spiritual ritual. So, of course, it is a lot of entertainment type theaters, but there are also some parts which really make research in this. They build their space and their relationship in this way, and their aesthetic, ethic, and so all these things were connected. And I think that human just choose, from which road to take the story, but all of these things generally go in one direction. Yes, in one direction.
Yeah.
And Walter, you, what's your story behind that show? There is something.
That's. I don't think I can put it into until you have a boss.
So I know you can do everything with words. So.
Yeah. But I have a special relationship, definitely. And as I said previously, when I got forwarded email from Kurt, when I saw the location, the venue, I was like, what? How can it be? Because I was thinking of looking for Zen Sangha in Kyiv, and that's just appeared. Like World Sangha came to me, and in the place that I had this special relationship, which was such an amazing coincidence. I met actually. Interesting how I met first people from Dach Theater. It's not. It went opposite. It's not that I came to Dach. It's people from. If it's Dach people came to my performance. I was doing parties at that time, around 2007, 8. underground electronic music. And there's in some way, this space is close to that club, which was a nuclear bomb shelter we made into a club. Very dark, very small space, very similar to this, like same amount of space. And I was making underground electronic parties. And a couple of people came there, and I guess Victor Afonko, who used to be an actor or is still, like, what is interesting about this theater, they don't have former actors. Those people are always considered, if they didn't participate for years, still their photos are around here, they are considered part of the family, and any moment they can choose again to play and to act. And he brought Markov from the Khabraha and Ira Gorban, who is director of the Khabraha, and presenting us to each other. And after a while, they've been to several parties, and they knew that I'm not into theater like in ordinary understanding. I don't like people talking too much on the stage. It always felt superficial to me. And she said, like, I assume that about you. I'll invite you to something that you might like. And it was some play without words. Like nobody talked. It was all performance, very dark. People wearing robes. It's like some sand here, stones. A lot of mythology. I didn't care. The vibe was great, and we became friends. And since that moment, we made remix for the Khabraha, remixed one of the songs, Mula Mantra. They were performing Mula Mantra, and we made an electronic remix for Mula Mantra, performed by the Khabraha. We participated in Gogol Fest multiple times, traveled to St. Petersburg, opened with some installations.
In previous life.
I
was in
it is in previous life, It's long before I went into meditation. And also I was helping to produce this video for New Zealand music channel. They were coming to Ukraine, and I presented the Khabraha to them, and they became like headliners for this music video, for music, program. And we made a remix for a drum and bass producer from New Zealand, like he lived in the UK, a big name from MTV, and the Khabraha, they liked the track. And here in this place, we rebuilt with the team, video team, rebuilt everything just to shoot very creative, with simple techniques, with simple what this space could afford. Very strong, like their own version, and I guess I like it much more than the original, but still, and since then I consider this being just extended family, and many people from actors and who became daughters. So for me, coming here is like, and we performed some play here, making music for some experimental weird stuff. And for me, stepping in here is like coming home, which I didn't visit for some years.
So for people who are watching and think about the word that things just appear, it's incidentally, you may know that we didn't plan anything with that. I didn't know Walter. It was like accident because we were connected through John Kabat-Zinn, not through Duck Theater. Also, the same was with you. You know this. You knew this place, but you were connected through your teacher from Quantum.
Yeah.
And I found the Lviv Quantum Sangha by just one teacher from Poland, from Quantum. She just wrote to him, and
who's the teacher?
Agata. She became a Roshi. just recently. I don't remember the name because it was just accident that she wrote to me, because I put something on the OneDropZen page, some quotation from Shodo Harada or other teacher, and I made the translation, and she was just curious what sign was used in Japanese way, not from the translation. So she wrote to me on Facebook, and I answered her, and it came out that I'm in some way familiar to her because some guys were telling about me, and they were also in 2 weeks later in my place, because I was organizing the session with Shodo Harada Roshi just 3 days before that session here. And we, from session with Roshi in Poland, we just went straight to the bus and arrived here. And I think that Kyo came from United States also to be here with us. It's also something of huge meaning that both Shinkai and Dokyo, they came to the plane and came from United States to sit here, even though they were not practicing sitting meditation for last 10 years.
So, yeah, that was the trick to force them to renew this practice. So you made it.
Very brave from you. So, Kyo, do you have any reflections about yourself here? It's important. I would like to hear something.
I mean, it's what I said at the very beginning. The whole thing is a mystery to me. I'm glad I was here, and it was important, but it's a mystery to me, the whole thing.
And you are the mystery for us. We try to open this mystery a little bit, but you are very good in keeping it a mystery.
I stopped trying. Like 2 days ago, I stopped trying, and I guess I started to get more information when I stopped trying.
Well, we were, when Sagan and I were starting to recruit, Kyo-san was the first person that I contacted with Zoom because he had been in Szczecin with us last summer.
Yes.
And I've known Kyo for a long time, but I explained what we were doing, and he said, "Yeah, I'll come." And no one else in the OneDrop Sangha that I talked to responded in that way. But, yeah, I'll come. So here he is. And, hard to get much out of him, but boy, is he a strong presence.
And I remember last year, really, you was a big inspiration for me, because when the war started, Kurt wrote to me an email, not to me, to Worldwide OneDrop Sangha. I would like to help Ukrainian people somehow. Yeah. Can you help me in finding ways to do that? And there was 2 people that answered him. It was me, and it was Taikyo from Hungary. And I just wrote to him because, I was thinking that if someone is writing something like that from the United States, he must be 20 years old, 20 something, so he will be my good pal. We will go. I will show him Szczecin. We will have really nice time. And I just 2 days before you came, Shoe wrote to me that she knows you and you are 70-year-old guy. So I invited him to my home.
You didn't know?
That he will be living a month in the room.
Too late.
In the room with my son. But I didn't know that he is not from the generation. And when I saw him, okay, he came from United States just to help refugees. And I had just opportunity because Kana Theater was taking care of refugees in Szczecin. So Janek thought, okay, bring him, give him, he will do something. So I wrote to him, okay, come on, I will try. I have friends, they will help you to realize your helping. And he came. And it came out that next day after he came, we were going to visit Quilo, the small village 40 kilometers from Szczecin, from which in 1876, 1870, his grandparents went to the ship and sailed to United States. So first thing, when he arrived, we found out his roots. We went there, and there was a big monument of some modern German sculptor of two farmers from 20th century. And I thought, oh, cool, just look, here are your grandparents. And there was really a monument of peasant people from those times. And I remember you from that time, how moved inside. It was very deep meaning for you. And still you have this photo of our talk in the castle with the coffee that Paulina taken, the photo of me and you. You have that on your blog as the main photo. So I really appreciate it. And then Kurt just started for a month going and trying to find his way to help him, just being there or singing Bob Dylan and playing guitar. The answer is blowing in the wind to Ukrainian people. It's again something connected with poetry and very symbolic. But for me, it was just moving how many people that I know are just trying to pretend that they see, but they didn't do really much. And one guy from United States that is 70-year-old took a plane to go and just do whatever he could. And it was an inspiration for me. When I went to Roshi Sama for Sanzen, he asked me, what have you done for Ukraine? And I was like, because in my honest mind, I was helping Kurd. I wasn't helping straightly to Ukrainian people. And after some interaction with him, the dream came that, okay, I will go and do session here. And I just followed that dream as I'm following all dreams in my life. And in that way, my life is a dream. Sometimes nightmare, but
I would like to acknowledge also 3 other participants of this session. The first one is Sashka, and he was extremely.
Is he here? I was searching for him. But
I don't know. I saw him going out, but a couple hours ago. Yeah, but Sashka.
You mean with
Sasha.
Sasha. Sashko.
Sashko is more respectable.
Sashko is more respectable.
No, Sashko is Ukrainian.
Yes, Sashko is like in Japanese, you put the O before. Osama.
So Sashko.
Sashko.
Okay. I remember Sashko because people who were coming here and knocking the door is Sashko here? Sashko here? Yeah. So okay. So Sashko. So and Sashko actually, for me, he has this I would say Zen spirit in him. And actually, he looks like a Zen master. He's not shaped only, but
more Taoist. He's chant. He's connected more to Chinese.
Yeah.
He's chant master.
But anyway, his energy, his smile, his lightness. Yeah, it's really inspiration for me. And 2 other participants are these 2 turtles here. who are all so awesome all the time, and they made me laugh all the time, and how they are kind of crowding in this tank, and trying to get through some rocks, and kind of clumsy. Amazing energy of the turtles, and they are so kind of busy with many things, and it added a lot of life to our session.
Nice.
And there's one more participant. It's you, Kakushi, who just we met 2 days before coming here. Just at the end of the session. At the session, I was beating him with Krisaku, but we didn't exchange any word. But after the session, I saw his energy, and I don't know what is he doing usually, but I just told him, wouldn't you like to go to Kyiv retreat? And he was like, oh, I will think about it. Yeah, so, and I knew that he was like hooked. Don't think about it, call me tomorrow.
Yeah, it was actually good that I didn't have much time to think, probably that's why I came. If I had more time to think, it would go. Yeah. Is it safe, really?
Thank you for your great job. He was all the time controlling everything what is going on with this live stream, and it was like extreme job all the time, being present with that and controlling that. He was really the person. If I would give announcement for searching for someone who could do it, I wouldn't find. Yeah. So it's another accident that he just arrives with his energy and with his smile, and yeah, just fulfilling this like closed circle of us manifestation of that same energy in completely different way.
I would like to also share one thing, because there's one thing that kind of surprised me when I came here, because I didn't know what to expect. Yeah. Because I live in Poland. I've been to Ukraine once, but it was many years ago, so I didn't know what to expect. And when you go, there's war there. There's east. You have different imaginations about these things, and I gave, okay, we're going to help these people. We'll pet them. Don't worry. Yeah, I know it's sad. Difficult time. Yeah. And when I came here now, I see that you have so many resources and you are so strong in many ways. That really surprised me. And actually, I felt that kind of you hold us here because, we were here. We knew something about airstrikes, alarms, and things, but kind of you were responsible for our safety. So you were one who was kind of holding us and petting us. Don't worry, it's okay, So it was other way. Yeah. So really, that's my, I would say, take out that you're doing pretty good here, although conditions are difficult. And yeah, I'm impressed.
We all are impressed by Kyiv and Kyiv energy and the beauty of the city and the beauty of the people and the energy of the people here. With my energy, I feel really familiar, and especially when I'm just talking and checking what are our roots, it's coming out that we have the same blood. Mm-hmm. We are the mix of Ukrainian, Belarusian, Latvian, Lithuanian, and Polish blood. Even your surname is like surname of one of my professors at the university. So it's all such familiar that when I went to the city for the first time yesterday, I told to Walter that if I would move somewhere from the city where I'm living, I would like to live here.
And I'm thinking about this region in general because, we find so many similarities, like culture similarities when we were talking and different things. And in some way, it was easier for me to fly to the US and live there than spend some time in Ukraine. So we are also so much divided, and there's also so many misunderstandings, and there's a lot of misunderstanding now between Polish people and Ukrainian people. A lot of things to resolve, also talk about, also difficult things. but the same Polish and Russian people, Russian and Ukrainian, and Belarus, Poland and Lithuania. There are also many topics. And it goes both ways, and it's somehow sad because we are one big family, in this region, and I don't know how it happens that things like this war is happening, because Russians are not very different than us in many ways, but yeah, we are on the other side of the wall, and now we don't like each other, do horrible things to each other. Yeah, how is it possible that things like this happening?
It's possible.
And maybe think we are doing like just connecting, just getting to know each other is something can prevent things like this in future.
Yeah, but this is it's specific topic and conversation. But you were on Maidan. You were in the first day coming. Yeah. So and here it happened 2 times. So people make their choice and did it. And you're right when you talk Russian people, also people, but they need to make their choice. So you can't make choice for another people. You could show the road, you could propose it, etc. But it's always your choice.
And with that empty mind, without any ideas, when we just meet face to face, we are always brothers. We are always just interacting beings, and it is our also message with our retreat.
In silence, our minds are the same, and
And
it's the only time when we are like together, because it's the meeting point for everybody. So everybody from different parts of the world, like literally from the other side. So we sit here, and it's night in Alaska, I think. So, but when we keep silence here, Africa, Alaska, everywhere the same. And if Russians would keep this, if people who make decisions would try, like in one of the sutras, it said that if you sit zazen one time in your life,
you will see all karma erased.
Yeah. So if these people would just, on the door over there, just look for a second, maybe it would change a lot for men.
So we should invite next time Vladimir Putin to sit with us.
Yeah. Maybe we'll sit with him.
Hopefully, not kidding. This situation is not finished, but it's just a start to continue with those kind of things here in Ukraine. I know also that Roshi Shodoharada, he from the start of the Ukrainian war, he was always supporting national Sangha to support also Ukrainian nation. He sees US being the defenders, and he was always willing to come here. So I think that this session will be kind of opening, and maybe it will be possible to come here with him in some future. And maybe later then also we could go further, but we must see what's happening.
I want just a short line. What we discussed just a minute about silence and how we are very similar. And so on this level, we are the same. And then we think how we should fix it. And now we have to think of how we should fix it with Russia, because we have this paths and implications with united. Good wisdom of words of John Kabat-Zinn come up. something about silence and a kind of understanding the way in real one. And we kind of know. Open your mouth and you're wrong.
Yeah, it's also the Zen saying
Yeah.
that Dharma said. That speaking even one word is already a line.
Yeah. Sure.
It's from Tao Te Ching also.
We must ask Sashko.
He opens his book from these words, like the truth that was spoken is not the truth.
Absolutely.
So, like, maybe there are some questions from people.
I got just message from Kodo. Kodo is the president of the board of Great Vow, and she sends us, support and blessings. So it's just another monastery. Great Vow is one of the biggest Zen monasteries in the United States. So, and she is the president of the board for this, not only the monastery, but it's I would say organization of many different institutions like the monastery, temples, network. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm really grateful you joined us. Your stories really filled in a lot of gaps for me. And really, I'm so glad that you came to share this with us.
Thank you. Honestly, I would like to join during all period, but it's too difficult.
So I promise you that next time there will be cushion waiting for you. We will fix with your free time. Then
Cushion and a chair somewhere.
Yeah. No, but I was with you in YouTube, so each day I checked. So in some way, this digital connection.
Good work.
Yeah.
Right now.
But it's also nice, like to be as on prologue this Sunday when you come, and this like epilogue. I can't identify, but I could feel that something changed. I can't say what exactly, but I know that you were here together all this period, and I just could see like arch structure, like a zero, and then after party.
Finally, you came with the Roshi job, so extending the last round. For extra 20 minutes, and it was really important. I believe
it's interesting because to be honest, I think in 2000, maybe 10, but or less, 2007, I think. It was one big visit of some master. I don't remember his name, but I know that it was near Lavra. Near Lavra, Kyiv-Pечерsk Lavra, there are a gallery. And this gallery, it was a huge amount of people to meet this master. And it was my first time when I come, it was time when I'm looking for something, for answers. In a crisis period. And I came and I received a really enormous experience of collective meditation when it's, 200 people sit simultaneously. It was my first experience of it. And I remember I was near the wall. So it also was with the pillows, because I know it's different styles. And then I went several times for this meeting, and I tried to join to some Kyiv group, but then I make a solution that I will try alone. And all this first meeting and touch this story really changed my life. So for me, it's very direct line. How through meditation, I didn't practice it. Let's say I did it maybe 2 years in a different period, in a different dynamic, in independent way. But this period influenced on all things that happened with me after, and coming to the theater was one of this line that I could logically explain itself, like step 1, step 2, step 3, and how you now hear, etc. So it's also some some feedback to
Dots
you.
connected.
Yeah.
So I think that we can finish the transmission. Maybe there are some questions. But
No questions. Yeah, let's finish the transmission.
But digital silence also.
digital.
Also very symbolical.
Yeah, we recorded a lot of silence.
And also, we should assume or expect that in a short time, I guess it's going to be in our lifetime, that we might sit in silence with some new type of consciousness staring at us.
Okay.
Could be. There's the discussion. I didn't check it yet, but it was on this event in US called Wisdom to All, where they invite a lot of teachers and they talk about meditation, mindfulness, and wisdom. And maybe several months ago, they had a talk between. Let's forget the name of this teacher. I'm not sure. I'll remember. And he was talking to the CEO of ChatGPT-4, ChatGPT OpenAI, they call it, the organization. And they were talking about mindfulness, spirituality, and AI. So for seriously talking about that. I didn't know what they discussed, but I assume that if something will have experience, I wish someone who is on the path of exploring dharmas should be among the first people to connect, to cooperate with this thing.
Who knows, maybe chat GP, to go for like a Sanzen or DocSan with, like interview with a teacher, and there will be computer, giving you instructions. Who knows? Yeah, I kind of. I figured I'm a little skeptical about it, so let's see.
It's just a tool.
Huh?
It's just a tool.
For now, it's
And if it gains, if it becomes a sentient being, I don't think it will be evil. If it's actually conscious, we'll know what we're doing here. So if it's because it's not in the knowledge, we see evidence that no matter how much books you read, you don't get this. This you have to experience.
So probably this chat about GPT after this kind of session will turn me off.
Okay, let's turn me off on this. On the note.
turn it off.